Today is day 206 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at CODEWARS. So, just to touch base, we finally got a grasp on regular expressions. I don't know if we actually got a grasp on regular expressions, but we certainly dove into regular expressions last night. We finished out the handful of introductory items they had here at Free Code Camp, which were these four, and we're actually going to touch base on them briefly before we dive into anything new. And I'm just curious, object-oriented and functional little kitty, what you doing? There you go. We are going to be mainly focused on CODEWARS tonight, try and knock out a CADA now that we've been going through all of the JavaScript fun at Free Code Camp. Our next section here at Free Code Camp is object-oriented and functional programming. I don't see any more titled regular expression sections in this next immediate one, right after the few items we covered last night. But we're going to use this as a resource for today's CODEWARS, or for today's CADA here at CODEWARS. So, let's double check we have everything before we continue sailing any further. We have mic, audio, webcam, little kitty, chat on our phone. I think that's basically everything we need. We are good to go. Let's do this. So, finding a CADA, we left off at level 7. We are looking for most... I think it's most completed. Wasn't that what we were sorting by? It wasn't popularity or positive feedback or most completed or least. Yeah, I think most completed is what we were doing. Yeah, we were doing most completed, level set, or our current level, and fundamentals is what we were sorting by to stay on a consistent path for the CADAs we were doing, instead of just like blindly digging through. We were sorting them by those 3. Yeah, see? And we did make a pretty large dent. I think I'm like 70% of the way through the level 7 Caillou here at CODEWARS. So, where did we leave off? Remember, we're skipping any series ones that rank higher on the list if it isn't the first one of that series, or if we haven't taken on that series before. So that's why we jump to X's and O's. I believe list filtering is what we have next on our agenda. Hey, Topher. CODEWARS? Oh yeah, CODEWARS. And now that we finally got to deal with regular expressions, it keeps collapsing on us. It doesn't need to keep collapsing. We are in this section right now. Now that we finally got to experience the glory of regular expressions and all the goodness they have to offer, which surprisingly is freakishly simple, all things considered, I'm sure it can get much more elaborate and in-depth. However, this right here, these couple lines basically explain anything and everything, or at least the general idea of how regular expressions function, which is awesome. Again, I think regular expressions should also be taught way earlier in the JavaScript learning process, just because it's so useful later on. And it seems like I'm gauging its usefulness based off of all of the freaking CADAs that have used regular expressions in the solutions, especially the highest recommended solutions here at CODEWARS in the lowest level CADAs. So that seems to be a thing. So I don't know why they wouldn't be teaching it earlier on. even like this, I can tell that even though they're barely scratching the surface, they're just sort of laying the foundation here at Free Code Camp. Even that alone would be an extremely effective thing just to reference in the beginning. But I digress. So let's go ahead and try and tackle our CADA for today. List filtering is the next thing on the chopping block. Regular expressions are one of the trickiest things to learn for a beginner. I had no idea. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it was good, or maybe I just thought it was so fascinating, and this was all the explanation needed. At least just explain the general idea, because it's been 206 days, and I went through all of the nonsense leading up to it. The HTML and the responsive stuff in jQuery, and just sort of getting adapted to it. All the symbols, trying to figure out what they mean, pattern matching, I could see that. That would be a lot to take on. It was frustrating going through CODEWARS and seeing all the top answers, basically like at least 80. Conservative is 80%, but I would say it was hands down closer to like 90% of the CADAs that I've done. The top 1, 2, or 3 answers were all using regular expressions, so I don't know. I feel like I would have loved to learn it sooner, because I really don't think Code Academy covered regular expressions. So I feel like that was left out. I don't think that was their goal. That would explain why they didn't cover it if it was one of the more tricky things. But, yeah, good to know. It's a tool I wish I would have picked up sooner. That's my 2 cents on that. But what are we looking for now? So, we've got stuff that we can reference, those 4 activities. And the thing that I wanted to verify, so they had their test string, what they're actually comparing to. The actual regular expression, which is its own thing. And then you set it up between the slashes. Very cool. Nice basic setup. And then this was the bit that I was curious about. So they've got the software count, which is test string, the actual string. Oh, and then you're telling it to match something. And in the parentheses of the match method, you reference that variable, which is the regular expression. And then you can do stuff with tacking on additional methods like dot length. That's what was happening. Okay. Fascinating. So that was looking for software in theirs. In ours, we had expression, and we were looking for and in the test string phrase. And that's what was going down. All right, gotcha. Topher, I think I have a new addiction. Fortnite. It's so distracting. Well, that's cool. I was looking more at it post stream yesterday, because I was scrubbing through yesterday's stream, and then I saw one of the because I post everything to YouTube afterwards, you know, because you can sync your Twitch file to YouTube, and I just send all the stuff from Twitch to YouTube after I finish the stream. But I was looking at some of the stuff on YouTube, and like the auto thumbnails, it was the blown up front page of the Fortnite download screen. So it was all the purple and all the characters and stuff. I was like, hey, that would make an awesome thumbnail, but I ended up choosing one of the other free code campy ones. Boo, because it seemed to be more on topic. But anywho, good times. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's going well. So that's awesome. Alright, I was almost about to close out Free Code Camp, but we don't want to close out. That's our reference for regular expressions in case we need them. So now that we've been doing JavaScript for a couple days, let's see how painful today's CADA is, wow, little cat, really? You're just gonna plop your face down on the function, shift, and tab key all at once. You're gonna throw the computer into cardiac arrest if you keep putting your chin on more buttons. I know the keyboard is at the perfect incline for you to rest your tiny furry head on, but we can't have that right now. What are we looking at? Today's CADA, day 206. In this CADA, you will create a function that takes a list of non-negative integers and strings and return a new list with strings filtered out. Okay, kind of cool. So, filtered list. 1, 2, A, B. All we're going to bring back is numbers. Oh, this is like perfect for regular expressions. I think because they have, look at this, hold on, it was the next one. I feel like it makes it too easy now. Is that wrong if you have the right answer? I guess that would be like trying to solve a math problem, and if you know how to get the answer and you can give the right answer, that doesn't make it wrong. That's the whole point, is to figure out the correct answer. And I feel like I have the correct answer now. That's so fascinating. But the digits, the /D, how cool is that? Okay. Anyways. God, these cages are gonna fly now. No, they won't. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's no way in hell I'm gonna make it out of this that easily. But that's kind of cool that we can see where it can be applicable. Alright. In this CADA, once more, in this CADA, you will create a function that takes a list of non-negative integers, so only positive stuff, cool, and strings, and then return a new list with the strings filtered out. Okay, I think I can see it. How cool is that? 1, 2, AB is just 1, 2, 1, AB, 0, 15, 1, 0, 15, 1, 2, AASF, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, but not strings of numbers, just digits. Fascinating. Okay. So I think that might throw a wrench into it, because was this digits only? Because I think it also included strings. One such selector is the digit selector, /D, which is used to retrieve one digit. Example, numbers 0 to 9 in a string. Oh, it's in a string. This isn't going to be as easy and as simple as I thought it was going to be. Damn. Well, no, that's okay, because it's a list of things. How are we going to pull this off? Alright, well, at least we know this exists. It might not be as easy as we think it is. Appending a plus sign after the selector allows regular expressions to match one or more digits. The trailing G, yeah, global, blah, blah, blah. Okay, /D. So that brought out the 3 and the 4. Alright. Let's do this. Go time. Maybe we can still split the arrays, or like print it to a separate one and then just return the separated. Topher, it's still easy. Just check the type of each item in the array. Okay, so whether it's a number or whether it's a string. And of course, Tiny Cat, I swear to God, you can't keep resting your face on the keyboard. That's the caps lock button. And more nonsense. No. So, let's do this. Return a new array with the strings filtered out. Should be easy. Just go with your gut. just check the type of each item in the array. If only one knew how to do that. There is a, they went over that in Code Academy. It was a really basic thing, but I don't remember how to do it. I'm probably going to have to Google it, but I'm still going to lay down some general base code on what I think this might turn out looking like. Create a function. Takes the list. We want to take filter list. Is that what we're calling it? Uh-oh. Oh, God. We're sneezing. Little cat, that's your fault. Every time I sneeze, I'm going to blame you. Function filter list L. So L is our parameter. That is our list. Filter list. What's the name of our array, though? L will be the name of our array. L is the name of the array. So we want to... something about L. We're going to be checking... we're going to be checking L. We're going to have a new list. I think a variable. And it's going to equal something. And it's going to be an empty array for now. And then we will be setting up some sort of thing to check L. Somehow L is going to get dealt with, perhaps by some method which will check its type. Its data type. And then from there, it will need to return. It needs to return the good stuff. Return probably whatever the hell we're calling it, but you know, I don't know if we're gonna have a loop involved. We might have a loop. There might be more stuff happening. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And 3. Loop stuff. Maybe. Okay, so, but something's going to end up being returned, and it's going to be our list L, I don't know, like I dot something, or not that, not curly braces, but this guy, like LI, I think. And it's going to return that new list, hopefully. No, it's going to push, it's going to be returning blah, 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 I dot push. And of course I forget the dot push stuff. We were just doing that yesterday. Wasn't... oh, it was blank. We were going to take whatever thing we end up with, and then you're pushing I to it. How can I already forget? Shocking. Anyways, we're good enough for now. Good enough for now for some base layout stuff. That's hideous, but let's see what's going down. Look into filter and type of. Okay. JS filter and JS type of, and we're going to do both JS filter type of. So here we will do MDN W3 and Stack Overflow. Let's close out of that. Here we have MDN again, W3. Fall apart, and stack over. And so that's array. More array stuff, which is good since we're working with arrays. Stack Overflow goodness, type of W3 school. Is that the same? No, different ones. Why? Array dot so forth. Let's look at what we have now. So array dot prototype dot filter. The filter method creates a new array with all elements that pass the test implemented by the provided function. So we have variable our array, words, blah, 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 blah. Variable long words, words dot filter, function word. And it's going to return any word with a length greater than 6. Okay, so word is our parameter. That's what we're gauging the length off of, and it's tied. We are filtering with this fun thing for our array. That could be helpful. Filter provides a callback, blah, blah, blah. The value of the element, the index in the array object. So I guess we could do filter and then maybe the data type. So it's probably both. So let's check out the data type if we can. This is more filter stuff. Cool. Variable. Yeah, that's just kind of the same thing. Check age. Ages.filter, check adult. Oh, based off that. Okay, so you set up the function. Then you have ages, and then you set up the dot filter. It's like a condition. Okay, so we're setting up how to filter the condition, or how to filter the array. Okay, so that's cool. So we've got at least our hand on that piece of the puzzle. The next bit is how to filter an object based on its attributes. So the following syntax. Oh no, this is still filtering stuff. We're going to touch back on that. Those two are definitely quicker to read through. That's a good crisis scenario of a specific situation. Let's check out type of. Typeof operator returns a string indicating the type of the unevaluated operand. Okay, so type of parameters. So string type of, and then it just checks. Can we do dot type of? Like, is it a method? Or you put it in, or you do type of and then whatever, and then it will tell you. You do type of and then whatever, and then it tells you. Never use this form. That's bad form. Noted. Never use this form. So for strings, type of blankety blank. So type of checks, maybe we're gonna have to do type of first. Set it up as a variable. So variable blah blah blah. Type of, and then the array. I think we're gonna need to break up the array. Maybe if we put in the whole array, it'll spit out an array of types. strings and numbers. Oh, see, it spits out an object. Use array.isArray or object.string to call. Differentiate regular objects from arrays. Bad, Steven, bad. This is where it all falls apart. Our quick little 5-minute CADA turns into a 4-hour endeavor. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Death. Maybe we should check both. That's okay. Let's head back. Let's see what we can do. So at least we've got an idea for filter. How can we implement filter? We're definitely going to need to use the dot filter on ours, and it should be just fine. Here we go. Here we go. Something null 513. Why am I listed? Oh, in the clever. Yeah, which page were we on? Data types, right? No? MDN. Ta-da! Null. There you are. Sitting there. Object. See below. If anyone needs to find null, apparently all we have to do is look below. Something about Java stuff. Not there. Here. Let's do this. New list. We will be returning something to new list. There was a push involved. I know there was a push involved. Strings, arrays, pushing. Dot push. So my array dot push, and then it would add that. So we're going to want to push to the new. So we don't actually want to return L. We want to return new list. New list dot push, and it's whatever we're going to be ending up with. I don't actually know if it's going to be I. I think it might be L and dot filter. L dot filter. Something about filter. I don't know if we're going to need a loop. I feel like I need a loop. Because how else are we going to check everything in the list array? And there's subarrays. Oh, no, not subarrays. It is one list. It's merely, I always forget that the quote here is returning the equals. See, it's really just the single list. And there's that. So filter something or other. I know this is null 513. Isn't the movie something about Mary? I've never heard of something about Java. Anyway, hello. DevDocs is your friend. The filter method returns a new array that has been filtered based on your condition. NC Kira? Nikira. We're going to go with NC Kira. Yes, loop through it. See if it's a string. If it's not a string, add it to the results array. Aha. Okay. So we are going to get loopy. So let's do for loop. For default I variable I equals 0, semicolon, I is less than list.length, L.length, semicolon, and I++. So we're going to be looping through. We've got our curly brace, which throws off the current curly brace we have here. That's mostly okay, I think. Yeah, we'll pretend that that's what we want for now. Let's drop down. We've got our variable new list array. We'll be dumping into that. We have our list parameter for variable I equals I. I is less than the list length, I++. Now we're going to be checking for list.filter, and we're checking for the data type. We're checking for the data type. The filter method returns a new array. Yeah, so this will have a curly brace after we're filtering stuff. The filter returns this, but we still need to set up all of this noise on line 6. That's where I'm at currently. And correcting what I'm pushing specifically. At least I think. So the filter method returns a new Topher. The filter method returns a new array that has been filtered based on your conditions. Cool. So now I need to set up specifically what goes in there. Yes, loop through it, see if it's a string. If it's not a string, add it to the result array, or just use the filter like I've been saying. I think filter can be learned later. Seems to be at the stage where you should learn the construct of programming. I can agree with that. Solid point. No, forget the filter. Use filter or use a loop, but not both. Oh, this is one of those instances where I'm trying to do everything at once again. Damn. So filter auto loops. So I don't need to do a crazy loop because filter's already doing that. Interesting. Huh. I think if you're using a new version of JavaScript, you can use number.isIntegerX to determine if it's a number. I like that idea because I'm fine with either using filter to see if it's a string or a number, or if it's an integer. It's kind of the opposite side of that coin, of the current coin we're dealing with. So maybe get rid of the for loop. You know what? I'm gonna just, don't mind me. It's gonna be down here. Yes, but you have to learn the concepts of passing a function through a filter to use filter, and that's a bit more advanced. No, you can check types with type of. Okay. I've used the type of before. I know I have. At Code Academy, they went over type of. Filter. Type of. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Copy this. Okay. Let's pretend the for loop doesn't exist for right now. Filter. Type of. Type of. And I want to check L, but that's just going to return an object, or yeah, it's going to return an array or an object. I'm definitely off. I feel like I'm going to end up having to go with a for loop since I can't figure it out. No, you check types with type of. Yeah, that works too. Well, wait. Yes, but you've learned concepts of passing a function to use a filter. That's a bit more advanced. No, you check types with type of. Yeah, that works too. I'm not very well versed with JavaScript. I'm a C++ guy. Type of 12 equals number. Now just do that in the for loop. You're looking at each element of the array. If its type is number, add to the new list. I feel like since I have the for loop, it'd probably be easier for me to continue with the for loop instead of trying to correct the type of filter fiasco. Just a rough assumption. Just a shot in the dark. But that means getting rid of filter here. However, I could use type of here. I can use type of in the for loop, though, right? At least I think I can use type of in the for loop. Type of. So if it's type of I. Oh, and it's just like a conditions check. Okay, so hold on. If it ends up in a thing, so wait, if type of, I gotcha. If type of L equals, would I do Li? Or just L? Maybe I do Li. If type of Li equals number, wonder if I'd have it in quotes or single. Return to the new list and push I. Is that bad? I think I broke it. Okay. Now you check types with type of. Yeah, that works too. Not very well versed with JavaScript. C++ guy. Type of 12 equals number. Single quotes. Okay. Now just do that in the for loop. You're looking at each element of the array. If its type is number, add it to the new list. So I could push or close the question, or closer to the question, if its type is not string, add it to the new list. The idea of filter is that you give it a function, let's call it f, that returns a boolean, true, false value. True for what you want to keep, false for what you want to get rid of or filtered out. And it will give you the list that contains only the stuff that will return true if you pass it to f. Topher, until some jerk sneaks an object or undefined into the list and breaks your function. Don't return yet. Push and return at the very end. Oh, this was the issue. Topher, you mentioned this last night. I don't return in the for loop? No, it's okay because I'm returning within the if. Death. I thought the Kata was going to be easy. I feel like... CODEWARS was difficult before. That's why I set it off. I felt like after going through all the basic JavaScript stuff they had to offer, I would be more prepared to take on some of the katas. And I feel like I remember more tools. The issue is that I don't know which tools to use confidently or with confidence. If you return in the for loop, you exit the function, and therefore your loop ends. If I return within the for loop, it's going to die. Okay. Okay. I guess the return, the new push, no. It's within the if. I feel like this particular return is safe because it's inside the if, even though it's inside the for, but it's still within the for, so I kind of feel like that's wrong as well. This is all bad. This is all bad. Okay, NC Kira, you were saying, no, just do that in the for loop. Do that in the for, wait. Do that in the for loop. You're looking at each element of the array. If it's the type of number, add it to the new list. Closer to the question, if it's not a string, So I could do, if it's not a string, as an alternative, if type of is not a string, and if that's true, then push that. Maybe. Okay, NC Kira, here's a tip for your level. Try to come up with a solution you can go over the examples by hand, then translate it to code. Your problem is not that you don't know JS. Your problem right now is that you don't have the solutions to the problem yet, and handling both code and coming up with a solution is pretty hard. That I agree, NC Kira. Yes, on the nose. When I close my eyes and think about it, I can see, like, each of the individual steps, or, like, I can think of concepts or whatever tool is needed to get that bit, but I'm struggling shoving it all together. Okay. Trump88, my solution equals try it. If it don't work, throw comp at the wall. Wow. Yeah, that's what I've wanted to do for the last 205 days, is just huck my Mac Mini straight out the window. But fortunately, I've refrained. Okay, so don't mind me. I want to see in general also run test sample where it's failing, and it's failing everywhere. Right now, my type of is apparently pissing it off like no tomorrow. Let's try and fix that. So maybe set it back to equals, back to number, run sample. Hey, it returned things. Look at that. Okay. So it's not a hilarious list of just angry nonsense. Expected 1, 2 instead got undefined. So we're starting to near the end slowly. So for the code you have right now, try to go over it by hand on example, line by line, and see what it does. It's also called rubber duck debugging. Oh, wait, okay, there was a few. Good tip. Pseudocode the problem in English first, then convert it to code once you know the steps. I also like that plan. Get rid of the return, put return new list at the very very bottom. Okay. Extracting said return. But isn't it going to be super pissed at me if I don't have the stuff? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Secure. Do you have to wear an Ernie outfit to rubber duck debugging? Rubber Ducky, the song "You're My Friend"? No, come on, that was funny. Trump 88's got jokes. Rubber Ducky. Okay. Anyways, more focused. In the loop, you do basically this if a number pushed to it, new list. Wait. In the loop, you basically do this. If a number push it, new list after the loop return new list. Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord. Okay, hold on. Don't mind me. Following Topher's suggestion briefly. Let me do one of my nonsense sections. Nonsense. Okay, so when in Rome, in the CADA, create a function. Birth function. Create function, which we have. This guy, filter list. Copy. Create a function. Cool. That takes a list of non-negative integers in strings, okay, which is taking L, parameter L, param L, this guy. I know this has got to be painful for everyone to watch, but we're just getting a feel for the logistics, because I'm terrible, and well, we don't have a better way to explain it. So good. Returns, so it takes a list of blah 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 and then returns a new list with the strings filtered out. So if I wanted to get a new list, I would want to loop through everything. So I'd want to go with a for loop, loop through, returns a new list with strings filtered out, copy. That's not pretty at all. So I'd end up wanting a for loop. Let's drop this below a line. We will cut that. Good times. For, very similar to this. So we'd have our for loop. Variable I, blah, blah, blah. So dot length, L dot length, that I can live with. And then the next bit returns a new list with the strings filtered out. So we need to get there. So I'm going to need to return it, which is what we have here. My issue is the push fiasco. I don't know if I actually have... I don't think I have push set up properly, at least for mine. I feel like what I would end up actually needing is, in parentheses, L dot push I, but I think that's also super frickin' wrong. And somehow this ends up nearby. So I'm going to need to take all these things at some point, probably a better version of them. I'm pretty sure it may actually just be I within the curly parentheses. And it ends up in that new list. I'm going to go to good. Now we need to string that together so we can test something involving a rubber duck and testing each line of our code one by one. What are we doing? Lots of comments. Where did we leave off? Side note, thank you again, everyone, for all of the assistance and guidance. Greatly appreciated. Something about pseudocode. For the code you have right now, try to go over it hand by hand, one example, line by line, see what it does. Rubber ducking, get rid of the return, put a return new list at the very bottom. Okay, we'll get there. Trump 88, rubber duck, yes, good. Ernie, tons of fun. Yay, Sesame Street, but more importantly, and see here, in the loop, you do basically this. If's a number, push it to the new list after the loop return new list. If it's a number, push it in new list. After the loop, return the new list. If it's a number, push it in, and then return new list. Fascinating. Okay, so copy. This was fine. Roughly. And you know what? I think it's I. I really do. I think it's just curliness and I. And then here, all we're doing is return new list. Hopefully. So from there, let's keep looking at some other stuff. After the loop, return new list, okay? Loop through, Topher gates. Loop through the list. For each element in said list, ask, is it a number? Question. Ask, is it a number? Is it a number? If type of, so if I in L is equal to a number, true, add that number, push it to new list. And false, do nothing, go to the next element. After the loop, then return it. Okay, so it looks very similar from what I'm hearing to this, hopefully. After the loop, return new list. Topher Gates, are you working? Developer? Nah, consultant sometimes, but not active. I work in healthcare. And Kira, I see you. I'm working for a certain firm that makes certain OS that most people have heard of. Ew, Topher, Linux. I was expecting the answer to be Windows. Well, it may or may not be Windows. Okay, good. God, I'm trying to think of what movie. It was something to do with, like, spies or something, and it was basically is like a government official, and they were like, I'm here to tell you that I can't officially tell you about such and such program is, like, active. It was exactly that type of spectacular wording. Yep, the thing you need is get rid of the return in the loop. Oh, it's the return. I thought I had to return in the loop to do it. I thought it wouldn't know to remember. I thought it was like pushing the stupid M on the calculator key. You know what I'm talking about. I've backed out of chat because I'm on my phone. You know, here, look, this. Yeah, I thought. Where'd it go? Yeah, the M key, the memory stuff, that's what I'm thinking return does. I thought I had to tell it to return to hold on to something, you know? That's obviously not, because everyone else is on the same page except for me. Oh, damn you, Steven. You confused son of a bitch. That's totally not what was needed. It's just... And it was L.I. And see, Kira, it was L.I. I guessed it and then I removed it. Oh, why? Why, Steven? So frustrating. I even had the internal brackets in there. Ah! Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. It's supposed to be this way. Learning is supposed to be fun and painful. Well, considering how painful this is, we must be learning lots, because, dear God, this just burns with the intensity of 1,000 suns. Damn. NC Hero. Well, keyword here is guessed. Don't guess. Be sure about what you write. Yeah, we've got to work on that. It's so much new information all the time. Every day is something new. Even if it's stuff I've seen before, I've only seen it, you know. I did see quite a few. What, there were two or we're not even anywhere near it. Let me close out of all of these 35 tabs. Although extremely helpful. Yeah, damn. What was I thinking of? Oh yeah, I went over multiple times the basic fundamentals of like HTML and CSS and JavaScript at Code Academy, because a lot of their courses had repeat content at Code Academy. So even though I'm now here chipping away at Free Code Camp, this is really like the third, fourth, possibly fifth time that I've seen some of these things, although, of course, regular expressions was brand new. That was the first time seeing that yesterday. But there's still so much, like, time and information. Again, 206 days, I guess it seems like a lot, but doing them consecutively, but I still realize I'm still freakishly early on. I see, the other thing is that I see the progress on the sites, and I'm hoping I need to get out of the sites and do more side project things, which is why I like CODEWARS, because they're like tiny projects almost. This is all they give you. There's no hand-holding guidance here with the copy and paste type. Just push this to my array. Ta-da! Pushing dogs. It's all very, very straightforward. Versus here, although it's a simple thing, it's kind of like asking someone to make fire with just a couple sticks. So you're left to your own devices at CODEWARS. It's still a good, safe learning space to practice, but I need more of this to really hammer in all the fundamentals, classes, courses, whatever you want to call them, all of the stuff that I learn at the other sites. Damn. Anyways, we need to get there. We'll get there. What are we doing? So, focusing back on where we left off. List.push, parentheses, L, bracket, I. I did guess. It was a bad thing to guess. And semicolon to boot. I know, pretty overwhelming, but it comes with practice, don't worry. Topher, well, CSS is still something I just guess and check for me even after more than a decade of web developer experience. That's a little comforting. Also check your braces. Oh god, the braces. Hold on. Yeah, I've probably got like 35 more extra ones. I'm gonna clear out my nonsense section. I'm gonna leave the category in case I need to do some backup work. Let's do some proper indenting. We have our function. We have our new variable, new list, which is an empty array. We have our for variable with its opening curly brace. And hopefully its closing curly brace. We have an if with its opening and its closing. So we've got an extra one in there. Let's actually get rid of this one. That would be a bit better. So we are going to return new list. This can close out there. Kind of feel like it should be like that. And we don't need to worry about nonsense. We can comment that out. Okay. We may be in fairly good standing. Let's get through the rest of the comments. Pretty overwhelming, don't worry. CSS, still just guess and check. Also check your braces. I don't get insecure. I don't get to guess. My kernel build time is half an hour. Gotcha. Yeah, we're in a different part of the learning to program spectrum than you. Everything, it's guess 9 times and then check it, an official resource. Go to MDM, MDN, or Stack Overflow, or my favorite resource, Ask Topher. That one usually works out best, especially after like an hour and a half of almost crying into the keyboard. All right. Ta-da! Look at that. So the test successfully passed. Let's go ahead, clear out our nonsense section. Alrighty, try it, run it. Topher Gates, is there something that introduces kids to programming in a fun way, like young kids 6 to 7, or that you know of? Scratch is pretty awesome. It's visual programming and works pretty well. I didn't, I haven't checked out Scratch, but as a side note, I had a coworker, at my last gig, and they're doing homeschooling for their son. He's like 7 years old, and he's already, because it's homeschooling, it's go at your own pace, basically, and there's still plenty of free time, which is great, but the difference is that there isn't the distractions in class, like in a public school setting or a classroom setting, so they're like able to really power through a lot of the learning. So anyways, I think his son, I don't know, he's probably older than 7 now, but he was 7. But he was doing like 7th and 8th grade work, like classes, like middle school level work at like 7 or 8 years old, which is pretty crazy. So the accelerated learning, I mean, obviously the kid's bright, but it's more of like the nature of the environment. Anywho, so really bright young kid, but also is really benefiting from that homeschooling environment of being able to like strip out the nonsense of recess and whatever. And a lot of his hobbies are similar things that he can really invest in, and he's doing programming, and Scratch is what he introduced programming to his son to start learning with. So I too have heard of Scratch being used for younger people, especially young people on an accelerated learning path. So yeah, Scratch is definitely a thing, even from a nobody in the programming world. I would definitely say Scratch would be tons of fun. I've still yet to check it out myself, but that's that. Good time. So that's all I know about Scratch, is that a cool, super smart young kid uses it. Cool story, Stephen. Cool story. What are we doing? Alright, so Scratch is pretty awesome. Visual programming works pretty well. I've seen Scratch but never used it before. I want to get my daughter interested in learning to program, that is. In Scratch, you drag blocks around statements, condition loops to compose programs, and it lets you use sprites right away, so it's very interactive and engaging for kids. Cool, check that out, thanks. Okay, solve the same problem with filter. Oh god. I think I could, so filter now wouldn't... Can I just use this condition from the if statement and put it next to filter? That would make me feel a lot better. Let's submit our official attempt and see what the cool kids had to recommend for their answers. So submit final. And let's see. I had my ancient clunky for loop compared to function filter list. So the cool kids suggested return L.filter. Okay. Again, guessing, but I think I guessed that at one point. Oh, function V, they set up a whole different beast. Still on one line. Oh, return type of V equals number. That's so much easier. So much cleaner. Look at it. It's beautiful. Return L filter, function, Elm, return type of. It's the same song and dance. It's just instead of return a number, not equal to string, right? L filters, again, same thing, although this time with lambda. Constant filter. So who did what we did? Okay, they had a for loop and an if. You know what? Not bad. This, I mean, it's not pretty, and it took me a while to get there, all thanks to you guys, but 1, 2, 3, and really the top 1, 2, and 3 are all the same. So I'm going to say this is really the second new format of answer, which is still very similar. I'm going to call it 2.5 place, even though we came in with the 5th or 6th answer. That's 2.5. I can live. I'm a 2.5 place type of guy. Alright, so yeah, return. So NC Kira, return L filter, function X, return type of X equals number. One line. Topher Gates, return L filter, X, lambda, type of equals number. Fat arrow with implicit return. I like that lambda syntax. Use that in C# a lot. Yeah, that's nice. They're probably proposing that for C++ 20, which makes me happy. I prefer you doing loops for now. Filter is nice, but you should learn the concept behind it first. I couldn't agree more. All right. Well, good times. That was still brutal. Clearly, we have a long ways to go. I want to try to do a CADA every single day. I think tomorrow we'll do another CADA and then try and also incorporate breaking some new ground here at Free Code Camp with the object-oriented and functional programming section. It says about 2 hours. Not sure it'll take 2 hours. They've definitely overshot a lot of their time estimates, a lot. But yeah, should be good. So that's what's on the horizon for tomorrow. Let's close out of this. Let's see where we stand profile activity-wise. Currently 71% of the way through. Slowly making progress. But look at this. 83. I'm telling you, we were at like 400 or 200,000. We were in the 100,000+ for a while, and we cracked the sub 100,000 a couple weeks ago. But still, that's huge improvement for us. So a little bit every so often goes a very long way. All right, NC Kira. All right, I'll try to come by tomorrow as well. What's your schedule? Usually I try to stream earlier. It doesn't happen. So I end up streaming starting the stream minutes before midnight. So it counts as yesterday's stream. Wishful thinking. Master of procrastination. Yeah, that's procrastinating and being confused. Those are my two strong suits in life. Those are the first two skills on my resume. Or at least they should be. But it provides for some interesting antics here on the stream, though. But yeah, usually midnight this time. Crack of dawn, which is unfortunate. Sometimes it's earlier, but that's once in a blue moon. All right. I think we are set. We are good to go. We are backing out. Jumping to home. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by. We had tonight Topher Gates, Null513. We also had NC Kira. Trump88. Thank you again for all the tips, guidance, and just overall assistance with guiding me through tonight's CADA. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. I would still be stuck on it without the additional help. All right, we are jumping out of Code Wars into OBS. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 200 and what? Oh, NC Kira, hold on. Are you looking into a career in programming eventually? I mean, right now it's just I wanted to stream the shortest possible version. I wanted to stream gaming on Twitch. Capture card, too good for my old crappy Mac Mini to stream games. So I wanted to still stream daily, though, and get in the habit of doing that. So I thought, hey, I want to learn how to code. That's something I can do every day. And 206 days later, here we are, still confused, but still learning. So yeah, that's that. Pretty good, though. It's been fun. Extremely painful some nights. But overall, would I do it again? Oh yeah, absolutely. But, with that said, the adventure continues tomorrow. Day 206. No, not day 206. Today's day 206. Tomorrow is day 207 of the year of streaming code. Whoa. Day 207 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We're definitely losing it. It's after midnight. We're stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.